Hey guys, welcome back. Today I am going to be reviewing the Randy Miner Memorial Country Run, which was held on June 8th, 2019 in Etna, Greene, Indiana. If you don't know where that is, take a second, MapQuest it, Google it, whatever. It's a very small town in northern Indiana, but let's go ahead and review this race. So to be 100% honest with you, I am partial to this race. I know the race director very well, Todd Hoffer. He's been doing this race now. I believe this is I think this is year 6 of this race. And so I've been a part of it. He brought this race back from basically it was a dead race. It wasn't happening. Randy Miner was the race director of this race years back, probably when I was a freshman in high school, and it was run at that time on the 4th of July, on the morning of the 4th of July, and he always did a great job with this race. He handmade his overall finishers awards, making handmade clocks to hang on your wall. And so then, you know, probably about, I think it was 5 to 10 years ago, Randy Miner passed away. And Todd Hoffer, a friend of mine, he brought this race back. He's very close with Randy, and wanted to bring this race back in his honor. And also, full disclosure on this race, Randy Miner is also a relative of mine. I believe he was my mom's cousin. So there is that family connection there as well for me. So like I said, it is called the Randy Miner Memorial Country Run. And it is it has a slogan, the biggest little race you will ever run. And it is a little race. Honestly, it is about 100 people. Why this race hasn't picked up more than that in the past few years is, my guess is, it is a Saturday afternoon race. I believe we started a 4-mile run at 5 o'clock, a 1-mile run starting at 4:30. And so that's probably the main reason why. Because it is also wedding season, it is graduation open house season, it's a busy time. That's my guess on why this race is not caught up. And also, it is June afternoon, and we've seen days of thunderstorms, and we have seen races also in the 90s. This race, I believe, was in the upper 70s or low 80s. It wasn't too hot, but it did get warm. And so on. So this is a true also country race. It is a 4-mile loop in the country. So there's not very much support out there other than at the aid station, which I'll get to that here in a second. But first of all, I want to talk about the mile. This is the first year I ever ran the mile. Usually my kids run the mile. I do not. But for selfish reasons, me and my wife both decided to run the mile and the 4-mile. For one thing, at the end of the race, after all the awards, there's a door prize for a 56-inch, I believe it was, flat screen TV. I thought, yeah, you know, me and her will double up and you know, increase our odds of winning this TV. And so that's what we did. We did that. Sorry, my neighbors are mowing. You know, they have the right to do that. So I'll try to talk over them, but basically, as I said, this was the first year I did the mile, just going out seeing what I could do. And actually I finished 4th overall in the mile. And so not a bad performance on my part, I don't think. I hadn't raced a mile in a long time, so it was fun just to do that. I wish I would have. I was trying to save some for the 4-mile race, and I wish I would have pushed them harder, because I could have maybe gotten top 3. You know, maybe next year I'll push a little harder. Anyways, the mile course was mainly in the town of Etna, Greene. It was a little bit on grass, which was interesting, but really it's a nice course. It's a fun way to it's just fun to race a mile, because really you don't get to do that too often anymore. So as I said, I finished 4th overall, but first in my age group. This is the medal I won for that. And honestly, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go for the double. I'm going to try to win both my age groups in the 4-mile and the 1-mile. unfortunately things did not work out that well for me, and I didn't even place in top 3 in my age group. So I got nothing out of the 4 mile. This is the first time at the Randy Minor run I did not place in my age group. So, you know, things happen. It was not a great day for me in the 4 mile run. It was very windy the last mile, but honestly at that point I wasn't anywhere near in contention to even place in my age group. So that had nothing to do with it. I just didn't do well. As far as the race goes, like I said, there was only one issue, and Todd did such a great job of getting volunteers to solve this issue. When apparently before, I don't know how early before the race, he set out a table, cups, cooler, and with water in it, and for an aid station at the halfway point. Unfortunately, somebody came by and stole the table, stole the cooler of water, leaving nothing. Somehow, some way, they got that problem solved, though. They got another table out there, got some more water, and made sure there's an aid station out there for the runners. So hats off to them for getting that done. You know, I think they did say they didn't know if they would be able to get anybody out there in time, but they did. They actually gave a suggestion, you know, if you want to carry a bottle of water that they had for the finishers out on the course, they could do that. They had plenty of it. So that's what some people did, but they managed to get out there with an aid station, and you know, all was right with the world. Unfortunately, I hate that happened to them, that they lost all that stuff, but they did such a great job on making sure that we had what we needed out there. So course is well marked. It's, when there's only 4 turns, it's pretty easy, but they did have fire department and also ambulance services out on the race. With it being such a warm race, they did want to make sure that everybody was all right, so they had all that taken care of for us as well. And like I said, it's just a fun race. This is one that the community comes out, all of Todd's friends come out and support it. There are great awards he makes. He hand makes those clocks still for the top 3 overall in the mile and the 4 mile. Gives out $150, I believe it is, if you break the course records, and that neither one of those happened in this race, but he does put a lot of heart and soul into them.